Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Today this is going to take place of my usual Project Moon video because a lot of people wanted me to hear this specific song, but it's not from Project Moon, it's from their Millennium Mother album, so I'm just like, alright, I guess people want to hear this and the community has spoken, so I will be getting to this one. There's a lot of people still on the Reverberation Ensemble Distorted waiting bus, and that's probably going to keep happening for a while, unless people actually want that to be listened to, because it keeps getting outvoted by other songs, and I'm not the one who makes the rules here. I just follow what you guys want me to get to. So if you want to hear that, you gotta make it known. You can't be voting for other stuff. But I'll digress, and let's hear what Mili has in store for us this time, shall we? Let's go. Whoa. And more energetic than I'm used to from the beginning of a Mili song. Very anime intro of them, actually. Has very much that same cadence, that same pattern to the songwriting. Alright. Full on different language. Go for it. Mili doing their thing with the story here too. I'm piecing it together with the picture, of course, assuming that that is directly involved. It usually is.
Years gone by, no moments wasted. Day and night, no memories faded.
Okay.
617 pages.
Very specific.
Now became the basis of all creation.
I like that build up on there. Again, very anime. I don't know why they're doing this specifically, but I'm not mad. I'm trying to see if there's like a specific reason they're going for this sound. Much more rocky than their usual stuff tends to be. All right. I think I'm gonna have to read the lyrics again on this one to be able to try and piece together the story a little bit more. So the image helped a lot on this one, as it usually does for Mili songs, because it tends to give a lot of context visually that, like, yeah, the lyrics will tell you, but it puts things into perspective a lot better when you have that visual, and that's definitely the same case for this one. The story seemed to be more about the werewolf trying to bring back the person who was laying on the floor and not really understanding how to do it, and being confused in the process, and being almost remorseful that they didn't understand how that worked. So I assume that this person that's on the floor was also an alchemist. I'm not super clear on that one, but purely because of the mention of scientific evocation, that's what that would be related to. So I'm assuming that they're an alchemist, and maybe they're the ones who brought the werewolf to life at some point. So they have this deep bond, and by the lyrics mentioning 1,000 years, probably about that long, and everything else in it is just kind of tracking their story, and this werewolf just being so distraught by the reality that they cannot bring their best friend slash lover back. There could be a whole thing there. I'm not going to try and figure out if there is. The lyrics didn't really show any sense of there being like a romantic relationship. It's probably just a sort of like master slave, or at very least just the respect of having somebody who did that much for you and then you not being able to return that favor in kind. It's just like, that would suck, right? There was language in this song that felt a little bit like Latin, but it definitely wasn't Latin, because I know what Latin sounds like, especially because of that one line that said Eterno Amor. I'm like, okay, that sounds very much like Eterna Amor, which would be like eternal love. And it's like, that's not necessarily like a one for one either. I believe in Latin it would probably be like Eternus or something more like that. But it's almost like Cassie's writing this in a general nonsense language, which I'm pretty sure has been done before in other songs. So I'm assuming this is an amalgamation of other like romance languages. So it's like a little bit of French, a little bit of Italian maybe, but it just doesn't really have any one-to-one connection to any other existing language beside that. And that's really the only sentence I could make sense of just based off of that. I don't know any of the languages well enough to be able to pick out any other specifics that may make sense there, but that would definitely track there. So eternal love also backs up the potential of it being a romantic thing, but also just you can have love for the people who care for you in life. So it could just be that whole relationship of them just being together in general and being the best of friends maybe. Also, given that this is a Mili song, I'm almost positive that there are references in here to like other works, and some of them might be a little bit more obvious than others, but to me, I'm not quite that into the lore of this. I've heard a few songs from Millennium Mother, but I wouldn't be able to tell you, given that it's been months between each of those reactions, that I wouldn't pick up on them, you know? So if there are those in there, I wouldn't get what they are. I'm gonna assume maybe like the mention of the very specific number of pages is probably one of them, but I couldn't tell you why, really. It just feels so out of place compared to everything else that it feels like it would be pretty close to something that they would write in there as like a reference to another song to kind of tie everything together in this one universe, because Cassie loves to do that, and they love to have that sort of relationship with other songs they write. They like to make this little world, but those sorts of things are definitely going to be lost on me as more of a casual listener compared to people who are actively listening to their whole albums back to back and like getting into the lore of everything. I don't quite get that deep into it. I love reading the lore dumps that people write in comments, but I don't necessarily like devote time to researching this stuff and figuring it out. So if there's something in there that I'm missing, that's probably why. It's definitely been a couple of months since my last Mili reaction, let alone something from Millennium Mother. I think the last one was like last year for me, so it's been a while, and I apologize if I missed stuff like that, but I think I listened to Galahad like fall of last year, maybe early winter. It's been a while, so don't hate me, but those are details I'll definitely miss. But the song, again, kind of going back to the whole concept of like them doing the anime sound, I'm not really fully sure why they went that direction with this song. Maybe it was just the energy they were going for, having more of that sound, that energy in the song made the whole situation feel a little bit more pressured, like you have to figure out what's going on here. There's very little time. It makes everything feel more rushed, a little more hectic maybe. So like that's, I feel like, where they're going with this. Otherwise, I can't really tell why they would go for such an aggressive track sound compared to their other stuff, which, while sure, they've had more energetic songs, they tend to be a little bit more of like an introspective, softer approach, or at very least a little bit more artsy, and this just kind of sounded like they were just running for it, just like gunning straight for the exit. It's like, okay, I mean, that's kind of what the story is talking about, somebody who seems to be rushing in order to save somebody that they're not even positive they can. So as far as the story here goes, in a vacuum, that totally makes sense. But I think that's about all I've got to say on this one. Like I said, if I missed some stuff, some references, let me know down in the comments below. I do like to see it when people are like putting those things together and making sense of this, but I just as an individual won't be able to pick up on that as well as some other people are. So let me know, and I will definitely be reading all the comments on those. I love lore dump stuff. And of course, otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to request another song from Project Moon or just Mili's other stuff, by all means drop it in the comments and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!